One sent to hospital with serious injuries after a fire in Manawa. The latest on COVID-19 from a variety of sources and angles. And angling for a new youth snow pitch league. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Cogeco News. I'm Greg Estabrooks. A serious fire in Manawa on Wednesday morning has seen one person go to hospital. The latest reports indicate that the burn victim was airlifted. 5 adults and 6 children were displaced due to this fire. Early estimates suggest $500,000 in damage was caused by the early Wednesday morning fire. Rolling on to today's COVID-19 numbers from the North Bay Parry Sound District Health Unit. 547 new tests in one day, 20 cases in total, one new one. 18 resolved and 2 people are in self-isolation as of today. There have been sweeping changes at Ontario's 24 community colleges in response to the coronavirus pandemic. The executive at Canadore College is proud of their response early on, and they believe they have a good footing to return to the new normal whenever that may be. President George Burton joined our Clark Heipel over the telephone to discuss.
What needs to fall in place to have people physically on campus?
Well, as you can appreciate, we're taking our lead from the medical professionals in the province in a very measured approach, again, in line with the province. And I guess, like everybody else, we'll have to see the infection rate drop below an acceptable level, again, as deemed by the health authorities. And then we'll make changes to accommodate conditions that we set out by the medical community regarding social distancing on campuses. Of course, you can assume that social gathering areas such as cafeterias and lounges will be off limits, making accommodations for that. Changing our delivery patterns where we'll continue to deliver in a hybrid model, in person and online as much as possible in the foreseeable future. And making necessary changes to infrastructure on all our campuses so that as this unfolds, we're ready to resume, again, on-campus activity where required as soon as possible.
In your mind, is experience online and teaching and evaluation online as thorough as it was done before this all hit?
Well, it depends. It depends on the program and the area of study and the semester. We have a series of learning outcomes. All our programs have in place. Students must meet to be successful. But because colleges are so applied, even with the best simulation, it is very difficult to reach all those learning outcomes without that in-lab, in-shop activity that one would imagine. So it's a bit of a challenge, as you can imagine. Colleges mirror a lot of the industries that we have, ranging from automotive to aircraft maintenance to hospitality, and each of those industries will have their own conditions to resume, and the college will have to mirror those conditions as well in the teaching environment. So it'll be a challenge, but we will adapt, we will plan, we'll prepare, and we'll respond.
Are you confident that students graduating amid the pandemic are as equipped as students who have graduated in prior time?
Yes, they are. The one thing that we hold hard and fast, of course, is the learning outcomes and competencies of our graduates. And those that complete the program will have met the same standard. That goes without saying. Just to be clear, we will have some programs will have to come back to campus to finish their programs, especially in the heavy lab-intensive programs. Some of those include some of our skill programs and some of our health programs.
Small business, of course, taking a beating during the pandemic, although some have been able to stay partially successful by being rather inventive. But many businesses are simply not allowed to open during this period and have to rely on government help. Is it enough? To talk about that and many more issues, Here's Patty Carr from the North Bay District Chamber of Commerce with this week's edition of Chamber Chat.
Different surveys out there, of course. We surveyed our chamber members, and our board will be looking at the results as of tomorrow night at our board meeting, and of course we'll release the results of that to the community at that point. The other one that just was released today, of course, was the Labour Market Group and Yes Employment. Of course, Labour Market Group always does the employers surveys throughout each year. This one was a little special, of course, wanting to know more about how COVID affected their business. And of course it was released, and the Chamber did send it out to businesses as well, so happy to be a part of it.
Now, the vast majority of businesses surveyed said they will be back. Some have said they won't be back.
Some of the items, of course, and I think our results are coming close to the same, whereas, you know, there's a small percentage of businesses that don't see themselves reopening. Which is unfortunate, of course, but a lot of them had to make those changes, of course, and fast during COVID, and hopefully they can maintain and or come back even stronger. The ones that have adapted, and I'll use a good example, we had Jeff from No Frills on our webinar the other day, came out with some great advice, lessons learned, so that others that are restarting their businesses may not have to make the same errors that Jeff felt he made when staying open, of course, as an essential service. You know, educate. Jeff said it was make sure you're using reputable sites to get your information, of course. And the second thing that he really stressed was not only are you protecting your own staff, but you have to protect yourself as the owner and manager of these operations. He felt that, you know, he was always running 24/7 and recognized that even though he was trying to make sure everybody else was okay, the customers were okay, and the staff were okay, that he forgot about himself. And that's what our business owners have to recognize, is it's okay to ask for help when needed, and also that you need your own rest as well to be able to continue with your business.
Break time has arrived here on Cogeco News. When we come back, some PPE hero deliveries. Welcome back, everybody. For the past week, we've been telling you about our contest, which encourages you to nominate a community hero during the coronavirus pandemic. Well, we think we have a pretty good one, pretty good candidate in this next story. We introduce you to North Bay resident Mary Yantha, who took advantage of her quilting skills and applied it to meet the demand for PPE, personal protective equipment. With more, here's Clark.
I do quilting, and I had lots of fabric left.
And that propelled North Bay resident Mary Yantha to become a COVID hero. She made dozens upon dozens of protective masks over a month, all the while providing them to people in need for a donation to the North Bay Food Bank.
Somebody asked me to make a face mask, so I did, and they were going to pay me, and I said, no, I would rather have you make the donation to the food bank. So this is how it all started. Then
And word got around pretty quickly, from what I hear. So tell me how it kind of gained momentum as you went along.
Well, just word of mouth, I guess. I put up some signs saying that I was making them free of charge with the wishing that they make a donation to the food bank.
And why was the food bank the choice for the money? Because there's a lot of good causes in North Bay right now.
There is a lot of need for the food bank right now, and I always figure everybody should have enough to eat. Yeah.
And how much were you able to raise over about a month of making these masks?
Made over $800. Yeah. And I donated $1,000 to the food bank.
Good for you. And typically, how long does it take to make one mask? And how many do you typically make a day?
Well, the highest I made was 25 in a day, and I would suppose it takes me 30 minutes total.
It's safe to say that Yantha is a COVID hero. You can nominate her to be the COVID hero in our community. Log on to our Your TV Facebook page for more information. Reporting for Cogeco News, I'm Clark Heipel.
Brown's Towing let us know on this day they were making the rounds on Wednesday, offering some coffee, donuts, and homemade masks to various first responders. We were at a couple of their stops on this day. No masking it. The folks from Brown's Towing making the rounds on Wednesday, dropping off homemade masks and some coffee and other goodies to first responders all over North Bay. Last year's major crisis, of course, the flooding in the region, and Brown's Towing personnel were very, very evident on Jocko Point. A different year, a different, even more serious crisis.
Mom and I have sewed over 1,500 masks. We're at the sewing machine every single day from morning till night. We've given away 1,000 masks, and the 500 that we did sew, we raised money. And what we're doing is going to all the frontline workers, like police, the ambulance, the fire departments, and we're bringing everybody coffee and donuts just to say thank you for all that they do in the community too as well, because they're putting their lives out just like all the nurses.
And our guys take a lot of pride in giving back to the community. It certainly feels good to have the community reaching out to us and appreciating the efforts of our personnel. It's been different. It's a new world where the safety of our personnel really comes to the forefront, really making sure that we have adequate protective equipment for our people. Thankfully, we've planned and we did have enough equipment for our people, and we've been able to share with other community support agencies, with the paramedics, and so that's the new reality for us, and I think it's going to be the same moving forward, is more of an emphasis on the protection of our own personnel.
And just before the visit to the fire hall, an earlier visit to the police station a little further up Princess. And one young officer grateful for the support.
Hearing people come out at the evening to bang pots and pans, so not just for us, but for healthcare workers and everybody who's working during this time.
How has it changed your approach to daily work?
We're taking a little bit more precautions sanitation-wise. We're washing our hands more, and we're encouraged to wear our masks, which have been issued to us. Especially we're going in small residences to deal with people that we can't maintain our physical distance from.
We're going to distance ourselves from the newscast for just a moment as we go to a break. Now, Clark Heipel says every one of his weather forecasts is so eminently watchable. Apparently today's is even more watchable. Stay tuned for that right after this. I can't wait.
Weather is brought to you by Canadore College. Great things happen here.
Well, that is more like it. Welcome back to Cogeco News. I'm Clark Heupel here alongside Memorial Drive at North Bay's waterfront. I am here for your 5-day weather forecast brought to you by Canadore College. After a string of cold days and even snow, we do have seasonal conditions a little bit below normal for the daytime high. However, the sun is out and it feels quite nice. We are now getting our first glimpse at the Victoria Day long weekend weather picture, and it does look quite nice as well. Chance of showers throughout the weekend on most days. However, the temperatures will be just about where they're supposed to be. In response to the long weekend and potentially increased foot traffic and cycle traffic down here on Memorial Drive, the City of North Bay is closing Memorial Drive to vehicular traffic from Friday at 9 a.m. all the way till Tuesday at 9 a.m. to allow proper social distancing along the waterfront. A good move by the City of North Bay to keep public health healthy. Let's take a look at the 5-day forecast brought to you by Canadore College. Venturing overnight on this Wednesday night, we still reach the freezing mark, clear skies. On Thursday, the 14th of May, leading up to that long weekend, cloudy skies with a high of 12 degrees. Overnight Thursday night, the chance of showers continues with a warm low of 9. Friday of the long weekend, high 19. Clouds, 40% chance of showers. The low on Friday night, 8 degrees with cloudy skies. Saturday, the 16th of May, sun and cloud, 19 for the high and a low of 11. And Sunday, 16 and 8 for the high and low, chance of rain. Turning the page back to the almanac, on Tuesday we had a high of 7 and a low of 4 below. The normals, 18 and 6 for the normal high and low this time in May. Well, there you have it. There is your 5-day weather picture. Now, I have a confession to make. Yesterday, while anchoring the news, I falsely accused Greg of stealing this tie. This is a tie I was wearing yesterday, and I thought he took it out of my locker, which he did not. This is his tie. Pretty similar in color and in design. But, Greg, I'm sorry. You are not a tie thief. Let's just put this behind us. Greg will have the Sportscast right after this.
Sports is brought to you by Tag Construction for all your construction needs.
Yes, let's tie one on for sports. Clark up for a Cable Ace Award after that last feast during the weather. Sports time now. Summer sports leagues for 2020, well, they're not happening really anywhere, but they should return, we hope, in 2021. And North Bay Band is trying to start up a new youth league in a sport that really doesn't have that kind of league, kids slow pitch. Sam Harvey wants to start up a regional youth slow pitch league for kids from the age of 4 all the way to 16.
So what we want to start out with is ages 4 to 7. as a T-ball. And then there will be an age category from 8 to 10, and then 11 to 13, and then the high schoolers 14 to 17. After that, they join the adult league, and sons and dads can play together. As far as development, there is a lot of long-term player development strategies online for youth that we can take, but the Calendar Softball Association already has a great program here, and we're going to adapt all that. Besides the pitching, that's been their hardest point, is teaching. That's another thing too. It's only just for girls, so we want to make this a mixed league and not have the burden of teaching them that whip arm motion, which it's a 2-year investment to teach one player. So we want to have 4 stations for T-ball, so throwing, catching, batting, and then the infield. And then at the end, for the last half hour, all the kids will hit off the tee, run the bases. We want to partner with as many of the northern Ontario cities that are doing slow pitch, and the ones that aren't, we'd be happy to pitch the idea. But Englehart and New Liskeard, they all have leagues up there, and they run the Gate Gala Youth Tournament, which we'd love to host something similar and then have our kids play with theirs and vice versa. We'd love to run our own, if we can have a family tournament. But yeah, there would definitely be a league. It's not just activities, but the activity to scrimmage ratio would increase as the divisions move up. So they would be spending less time doing drills and more time playing the game. Yeah, so we're going to be asking for volunteers, sponsors, players. We also want to move into West Nipissing or potentially Mattawa, and get as many youths signed up as possible. So right now you can go to youth.nspanorthbay.com and fill out a form just to show your interest for 2021.
Sam also said the plan is to have the players scheduled in a way if they want to play fastball and slow pitch at the same time, they can do that. Canadian sailors like James Uhas would be knee-deep in Canadian fresh waters, practicing and tinkering with their crafts. Today, 300 kilometers from his laser-class sailboat, James is forced to prepare using other means because of COVID-19. Everything but the real thing. No water access, no boat. From his home in Oakville in confinement, James discusses his non-conventional training regimen and his Olympic aspirations for 2024 in Paris.
So obviously it was a huge hit. This year was supposed to be a big year leading up towards the Olympics. So there was a lot of preparation. I go to Queen's, but I was actually only in one online class this semester because it was supposed to be kind of like fully focusing on sailing as much as I absolutely could. So it has been quite a bit of a blow, but yeah, while we're not able to be on the water, we're really making the best of what we can at home, doing lots of work on the stationary bike and taking this time to focus on things that normally may get put to the back burner a little bit, like a little bit of fundraising and working a lot, focusing on fitness. So like I said, it was planning on being a massive year. We had just come back from, I had spent all of January in Miami training for the World Cup there, and then a lot of February in Melbourne, getting ready for the World Championships there, and then competing in the World Championships. And then we were coming back from Melbourne, and we were at home for a little bit, kind of getting back into school, but we're quickly down in Florida again for a training camp that was supposed to just be us fine tuning and getting ready for what was supposed to be the second half of the Olympic trials. So it was going to be a massive regatta in Spain at the end of March in Palma, America. And so we were actually in a training camp in Florida when we kind of heard the news, everything breaking out in around the world with COVID-19. And it was me and my roommate. He was one of my main training partners. Kind of, we were sitting in a motel room in West Palm Beach on one of the days of our training camp, and we were watching, President Trump's address about the COVID-19 situation, and we were kind of looking at each other, being like, well, first of all, are we okay here in the States right now? And then second of all, what's going to be going on with Palma? We're supposed to be heading over to Europe in a couple of days. So it was a big blow, and obviously everything happened really quickly, and we weren't able to go to Palma, and we had to make a mad rush for the border from Florida back up to Canada.
Finally tonight, and we had it before, we'll mention it again because it's worth mentioning again. Here at Cogeco, we want to recognize people who have gone above and beyond to help others during the coronavirus pandemic through a contest that can be entered via our Facebook page. Visit Your TV North Bay on Facebook and let us know if you know someone who has gone above and beyond the call to help others during the pandemic. Tell us their story in the comments below for a chance to win him or her dinner on us from a local restaurant. And don't forget to share this post to celebrate our heroes in our community. 5 winners will be drawn each Monday through June 1st. Prize value is $100. Tomorrow, sporting a newish tie. I'll be here at the desk live at 5 for more Cogeco News. Thanks so much for joining us. Stay safe. And again, we'll see you right here tomorrow, Thursday at 5.